The past week of marathon training has had me walk a delicate balance between the extreme weather conditions here in New Hampshire and in New England that we all face that make it tough to get out there and train with the cold and extreme cold and snow, as well as some aches and pains related to attempting to run on a treadmill to avoid running outside. I'm also going to take a quick look at a 1981 marathon where I not only set my PR, but where the lead runner, the first runner who finished the course, had to be disqualified. My name is Jim Hansen, and I'm a 67-year-old runner who has been running for over 50 years. The first marathon I ran was in 1977, and I'm looking forward to running my next marathon at the beginning of April this year. And I am documenting my journey in the quest to run a sub 3 hour, 30-minute marathon. After freezing cold temperatures and lots of snow over the weekend, I started my running on Monday with a 10-mile run, and I opted to run on my treadmill, which I haven't done yet, in 2006. It went well. I was able to do 10 miles at exactly 9-minute miles.
It's not this pick you up or whether if you're fit enough to be in the race to use it. So I think Rick is not too upset about this slow.
See if I can beat him.
I think people have been feeling pretty good about his chances at this point.
Fisher goes to the outside. Too wide for the final 50 meters. Young grits his teeth. He holds on past Fisher, and he's really on the national championship.
They beat me. I got half a mile to go to make 10. Unfortunately, running on the treadmill threw my body off. Afterwards, I started developing hip pain in my hip where I had surgery back in 2011 for a torn labrum. The hip pain made it hard to get out there and exercise. It was throwing off my stride. So Tuesday, I did 20 minutes on the ARC trainer. I'm only running or trying to run every other day and using the ARC trainer on the opposite day because my body cannot handle at this point running day after day. Wednesday was my running club's Wednesday night run. We run at a middle school at 5:30 at night. It's dark. We all have our lights on. There are various groups at different paces. I'm trying to run with a certain group, and they're going a little bit faster than I want. I keep up for a couple miles on the 5-mile loop, and it's full of twists and turns, and I still can't find my way because every week they change the course direction. But I was able to run that a little slower than normal, but it was a bit icy and it was cold out there during the run. And so I did that at an 8:51 mile pace for the 5 miles. Thursday, my hip still felt uncomfortable. I tried to run on the treadmill as it was a cold day. I did 3 miles, but my hip was not doing too well, so I got off that and did 20 minutes on the ARC trainer to finish my workout. I took Friday off, and Saturday was our club's Freeze Your Buns race series, a 5K race series. It was extremely cold. It just got up above 0 degrees at the start of the race. It was 3 degrees Fahrenheit for the race. 5K. I just cannot run as fast as I'd like. I'm doing no speed work, and I haven't even done any strides yet this year. So I was a few seconds faster than 2 weeks earlier, and I ran the 5K in 24 minutes and 27 seconds. It sounds good, but just 3 years ago, I was running sub 21 minutes on the course, including a 20-minute, 8-second race, but I was doing track work every week that year. And I don't really need that now if I'm training for a marathon, so I let it go and think of the 5K as speed training for my marathon. I finished the week on Sunday by doing an hour on the ARC trainer, and it led to finally starting to feel good Monday when I had my longest run of the year, but that's for next week. Friday night, our club had its annual awards dinner. I'm a member of the Gate City Striders out of Nashua, New Hampshire. I was honored to receive the Comeback Award, I guess after having 2 broken bones and continue running the Boston Marathon after the first bone break. So that was an honor. I'm starting to wonder about myself because I also received the same award 3 years earlier, but that was after a 13-year hiatus from running after my hip surgery where I couldn't run at all, and I finally put it all together and got back to running. As I mentioned before, I ran my first marathon in 1977 in Dallas, Texas. My goal was to qualify for the Boston Marathon. Back in those days, you had to run a sub 250 marathon to qualify for Boston. It took me 7 more tries before I finally broke the sub 250 marathon barrier. I had a 251, some 254s, even a 250.07. But in 1981, at the Lake County Heart Fund Marathon in north of Chicago in Illinois, I finally broke that sub 250 marathon and qualified for my first Boston Marathon, which I ran in 1982. It was an interesting race, so I thought I'd tell you about one of the races I've run. I went to the race with my cross-country coach, Jim Whitnaw from Wheaton College. There was a major problem in this race as it was being run. First off, there was over 1,050 marathoners in the race, and the newspaper said there were 200 unregistered runners, something that happened a lot in those days with bandit running. And what happened in the race was that 2 runners from North Central College, nearby to my Wheaton College, entered the race, Dan Scotter and Jeff Milliman. Jeff Milliman was fresh off winning the Division III cross-country national championships in the fall. These are really good runners. They decided to jump in the race, and I think they only were going to do part of the race, but at 16 miles, Dan dropped out, but Jeff kept going. He was in the lead, and he won the race in 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 59 seconds. Throughout the final miles of the race, according to the newspaper, the race organizers had to decide what to do with Dan winning the race. Were they going to honor him with the first place prize, or were they going to disqualify him from the race? And I guess there was a lot of banter about that, and they eventually disqualified him from the race as the next runner finished exactly 30 seconds after him, a man named Ray Hintz. So he became the official winner. Jim Whitney, my college coach, finished 3rd overall, and I finished 19th overall over 1,000 runners in 2 hours, 48 minutes, and 38 seconds, which is still my lifetime PR. It was not an easy race. I had the week before just bought the fresh off the presses Nike Mariah racing shoe, the first racing shoe with an air bag in it. The shoes were light. They were expensive for those days, I think $49. And I really enjoyed them up to about 20 miles when the bottoms of my feet started burning off. It was horrific. I didn't want to even touch my feet to the ground because they were just felt like they were burning. And I had that every time I ran a marathon in the shoes. I had the same feeling. Plus, it was a point-to-point course, and we had a lot of headwinds at the end. So the last few miles were a struggle, but I still got under the 2 hours and 50-minute marathon time, and was pleased to do that. This week, hopefully hit higher mileage. I already have on Monday. So hopefully the training keeps going well and the weather gets warmer. See you next time.